Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. Today we're in Medford and we're talking to your community leaders. My guest today is Rich Rosenthal. He's an Ashland City Councilman. Rich, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You are one of the newest City Council members and you're very excited about joining this process.
I am the newest. I'm 14 months into this odyssey.
And what was that like for you going for a campaign the first time?
It was so memorable. I had served on the Parks and Recreation Commission in Ashland, which is unique because you have to run for that as well, but it's nothing like running for City Council. And knocked on 2,000 doors during the campaign. A memorable experience. It was fascinating, not only to meet people, but to see how their front yards are landscaped, stuff like that. But even had I lost it, I'm glad I did it, and I'll never forget the experience.
And you work for the City of Medford, but you still found that to be very educational.
Actually, it was helpful in terms of, working for city government. And there is some brand confusion. And people go, wait a minute, I know you, don't you work for the City of Medford? Don't you live in Medford? No, I work for the City of Medford, but I live in Ashland, have lived in Ashland for 20 years. But I have insight into municipal government because that's my day job. That's, I work in Parks and Recreation. I know how government works. So that has been helpful in my being on the City Council in Ashland because I have an idea of generally how things work in government.
Well, now you've done the doorbelling and been in position for a little over a year now. What are the things you want to do for the people of Ashland the most? Well,
first of all, it's a philosophical thing for me. It's not so much that I have a long list of agenda items that I want to see, because you're working with a small group of people, and while you may have some definitive opinions and thoughts on how things should be done, you still have to find a way to convince 3 other people in the council to go along with what you want to do. So that's part of it. But also, I think all councils in every community need good decision makers. They need people who are naturally curious and who sort of like doing it.
Yes.
And that's who I am. And hopefully that, be judicious and do the research, do the reading, and make logical, rational, reasonable decisions that make sense for the community. Now, people sometimes disagree with you, but if you have an ability to explain why you made the decision and it's based on solid data, most people will respect it.
And do you find that a great deal of your decision making comes from actually listening to the people who come to you with their ideas and their requests? Or is it more independent thinking for you?
Well, you absolutely have to be a good listener. You have to be responsive to the people who email you and talk to you, and because that's your job as a city councilor. It's just how you go about doing the research and the background, and otherwise you're not doing your job if you don't have all the facts, examine the facts and background.
And we only have just 30 seconds left, but you work for the City of Medford, which is a conservative area, and you live and serve on the Ashland City Council. And how do you balance those conflicted interests?
Well, actually, I think that most people who live in, the average person in Ashland and Medford probably have the same outlook. It's just magnified because of the political parties, Republicans and Democrats, but actually most people just want good decisions made for their communities, and most of them apply to all communities.
All right, Rich, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. This is Rich Rosenthal. He's the newest member to Ashland City Council. I'm Dana Cowley in Medford, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.